Hi, my name is Sarah with Calypso Moon. I just wanted to come to you guys and speak a little bit about why I began this channel and the purpose of what I'm trying to achieve here. Just in case it was unclear in my other videos. I didn't do a lot of talking in these original videos that I uploaded. This is something that's new to me. This is a new calling for me. So I'm definitely not accustomed to being an on-camera person or a personality that's out there like that. I'm a Capricorn sun, so I'm definitely a very reserved person. I like to keep things private, but I have been called to, I'm starting to get nervous already. I have been called to participate in the raising of vibrations of this planet. So I know probably a lot of people look at that as like woo woo and oh, what are you talking about? But hopefully with this channel, that's what I'm hoping to clarify with you all, and hopefully you guys can help clarify some of those things for me as well. My history and my abilities, my gifts. I have had a career in social work for most of my adult life, all of my adult life. So I've always been in a social field. I've always felt like I've been called to help people. It's just really been unclear in what capacity I was supposed to help people in. So I've always known that I was supposed to be helping people. I think everybody has that feeling at some point. Maybe not, I don't know, but I know I've always had it. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing with my life until I was, rudely awakened to what I could be doing, what I'm supposed to be doing. So I guess I found my purpose, which is really exciting and scary all at the same time. So I hope that you guys can journey with me on this path. Some of the things that I've experienced in my life is clairsentient, and if you don't know what that means, that just means being able to see clearly. See clearly. The word literally breaks down to clear vision. So that for me means that I have a very high level of discernment. I can look at people and basically tell when they're lying. Like, it's just, some people say it's a Capricorn thing. I think that we all have that to a certain degree, but yeah, I can see clearly. Just simple as that. Precognition, being able to see, or I don't want to say recall, because obviously people think that the future hasn't happened yet, although we are not on a linear time frame as everybody thinks that we are. So precognition is just being able to know something before it happens. Simple as that. Psychic ability, whatever you want to call it. These are all psychic abilities. They're just different ways of obtaining this information through different senses. I hope I'm being clear about that. Mediumship, I have communed with spirits before. I've communed with a lot of people who have passed on. Mostly this happens in my dream. It's never like a dream that I can't remember. Each time it's happened, I remember it like it was yesterday. Usually people forget their dreams, but in this case, these dreams stay with me, and they're very vivid. They're very real, like, and I am lucid in these dreams, which means that I have full control over what's going to happen in the dream. If you guys want to look up any of these definitions or any of these terms, I really suggest that you do so that you can have a clearer understanding of what's going on with you as well. I think a lot of people right now are seeking answers and direction, and a lot of us have been called to help lead that way. So I hope this doesn't come off as arrogance, because it's most definitely not that at all. Trust me, I'm probably okay. I had to get myself together. Whew, okay. All right, so the next thing about my gifts is astral projection. I have experienced astral projection. Astral projection. I can't even talk right. I'm still a little emotional, but I'll be all right. Okay, so astral projection is when you are able to leave your physical body and I guess just be in spirit form. I guess the best thing I can liken it to is being a ghost. No, you don't have to die to do this. Although people have had near-death experiences that have pushed them into an astral projection type of situation. I'm probably going to re-record this because I'm just messing up all over the place. I'm not good with being on camera. I'm a very goofy person, even though I come off as very, a lot of people tell me I'm standoffish, or I come off very abrasive, or resting bitch face is the term that's been used a lot. So I'm trying to work on that because that's definitely not me. I definitely don't see myself as being non-approachable. But again, that's just based on my environment and my experience of how I grew up. So those traits could definitely be manifesting in my physical self. I don't know about this healer part because I don't know. I don't think that like I can miraculously heal people. No, I feel like I do have a way with being able to talk to people and help them find healing, to help them find understanding, and to help them find avenues to healing. I do work with a lot of natural oils, herbs, stuff like that. So I guess I could possibly fall into that category as a healer, because I do know about a lot of those things that help people heal themselves without pharmaceuticals or harmful chemicals that we just really don't need to be putting in our body. It's enough of that stuff getting put in our food and water and in the air every day. So I definitely try to avoid unnatural. Okay, and then last but definitely not least, this is probably the thing that I've struggled with the most, is my empathy. I am an empath, and a very strong one. I cry on the drop of a dime. I can watch a movie and I can feel the emotion so strongly, like I'm crying on every movie. My kids look at me like, what's wrong with her? And a lot of people have looked at me throughout my life like that, but not only through movies, just being around other people, I really do absorb their emotions, feelings, and sometimes their thoughts. So it's been a real challenge to try to differentiate, what's going on. Like, why am I feeling like this around these people? Like, it was very hard for me to come to terms with what's mine and what's not mine. What's my feelings, what's my emotions, and what's not mine. So yeah, I've had to really discern that. So those are basically my gifts. Those are the things that I'm working with. I'm learning to develop. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I'm gonna be Mother Teresa, because I'm still at the very, very, very tip of learning. So, but I am being called at this time, obviously, because I know enough to speak about it. So I have to heed that calling and move forward, because obviously if I don't, I'm not fulfilling my soul contract of what I came here to do at this time. I think that we all know that we are now in the age of Aquarius. So, there's a lot of things that are changing and switching, and a lot of things that are coming to the forefront that have usually been known as to be taboo, or just stuff that we don't talk about or we don't want to necessarily acknowledge. But all those past paradigms are starting to shift, and people are starting to become more aware of their own abilities and the things that are happening to them. I've always known at some point that I was very different from my sisters, from my family that I was born into. I've always known that. Even though I didn't want to be different, nobody wants to be different. Like, who wants to be different? Everybody wants to be the same, but no, probably not these days. Everybody does want to be different these days. But back when I was growing up, you didn't want to be different. You didn't want to be looked at as weird or, any type of odd way. You wanted to be accepted, but it was just a lot harder to accept the things about me, probably, I mean, probably was a weird child. I don't remember everything about my childhood, but I probably was very weird. I know I used to talk a lot and ask a lot of questions. A very curious person. I still am. I still have that curiosity and that eagerness and willingness to learn. And I feel like I'm going to be learning more from you guys than you probably will be learning from me. So I'm looking forward to that. I do want to learn, and I do want to help in whichever capacity I'm able to. And right now, this is what I'm being called to help in. This is the capacity. So here we go. All right. So yeah, when I first noticed my gifts, oh God, that was long ago. I was just always very sensitive, a very sensitive person. Yeah, so I mean, I was a weird child. I remember I used to look into little bubbles of dew on leaves and stuff, and I would just sit there and stare into it sometimes, or I would lay on the ground and look at blades of grass. I remember doing stuff like that when I was little. I'm like, what? Now that I'm thinking about it and going back to it, I'm like, that was very weird. Very, very weird. I've always loved nature. I've always liked animals. I don't like keeping animals. I just feel like it's a violation of their freedom at some point. That's just me. So I'm not like an animal person where I got 1,000 animals all around me, but I respect animals and I care about them, and I don't want harm to come to them. As well as the earth too. I used to be really big about littering and just taking care of the planet, and at a very young age I was focused on these things, so I know I was weird. Like, whew. I remember when I was a teenager, I used to just go around picking up stuff, not dirt, but like garbage and stuff that wasn't supposed to be there. Not even my garbage, other people's trash. I just pick it up and throw it away. Like, and I used to tell my friends, like, hey, pick that up. Like, you know, if I'm picking up trash, you guys can pick up trash too. Like, don't just see garbage on the ground and leave it there. We have to live here. You know what I mean? And not only do we have to live here, our children and our children's children have to live here too. So it's another weird thing I did when I was younger. I was just very different, and it was observable, I'm sure. I'm very sure. Tarot. I recently got into tarot. I think that I've always had an affinity for cards because my family played cards, and I always remember being able to know how to shuffle a deck of cards since I was a kid. And I don't know that that's a natural skill that everybody has, but I remember me and my sisters used to do it all the time. My grandma used to play cards. My dad used to play cards and dominoes and stuff like that. So we were always around that type of stuff. But I didn't really get into tarot until my adult years, and actually just recently. It's been, I bought my first tarot deck probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And I never used, I mean, I used it on family, I used it on myself, which I really couldn't use it on myself at first because I didn't know the cards. So I was just going by intuition alone when I first started with the decks. But then I took the time, and I'm still learning, trust and believe. There's still stuff that I learn every single day about the tarot decks, but I read the books, I read up, I constantly try to refresh my mind and think of new ways of explaining things that I feel and see in these cards. But honestly, tarot is just a tool. Tarot is a tool to use to help the conduit, which is me, be able to clearly ascertain the message that needs to be delivered. And it's just easier to use pictures and meanings that are already preformed than to just try to, you know, especially if you're doing it for a collective of people and not just one person. It's definitely easier to use something that's already, you know, well established and has an already well-defined meaning. And the cards, I'm telling you, these cards amaze me every single day. I swear to God, there's just something miraculous about it every single day. Like, there's no way you can have 11 tarot decks, which that's what I have, and, you know, do different spreads and still keep getting the same storyline. So it is amazing. And that's when you really know that spirit is, you know, right there with you. They're right there with you. And it's scary and reassuring all at the same time. It's like, wait a minute, is this really happening? I guess people who grew up in church might have had a different experience with spirit than what I had. I was scared of church as a kid, and I was just like, yeah, why are these people getting up screaming and hollering and speaking in tongues? I didn't know what was going on. So that was really scary for me. And then I'm not saying anything about anybody that's religious, to each their own, but being scared by eternal burning flames is not exactly my thing. Like, I'm not trying to get into all that. I'm trying to stick with my notes to make this as short as possible because I know you guys don't want to keep hearing me talk. But yeah, so tarot is a tool. It's just a tool for the conduit to use to be able to express the message and clearly discern the message for a larger population of people. For a one-on-one, I probably wouldn't even need a tarot deck to tell you about your life or some of the things that you've been through. I've never needed it before, and I've been able to do those things for people who have come across my path in life needing my assistance. Esoteric knowledge is also something that I've been heavily into my whole life. Probably since I could first read, I've been always wondering about what else there is, and the unknown and the mysterious and the hidden, you know. So like, that's been my thing, because I guess I've always known that there was something different about me. Like, there is something going on here, and I need to know what it is. And it's like, you know it. You just know it. And it's like, well, you know, you start researching here and there and, you know, discovering things here and there. And it's like, okay, this fits with what's happening to me. It was like diagnosing yourself, I guess. That's what it felt like to me. Yeah, I'm still a little sniffly from breaking down crying a few minutes ago. All right, I've always been into ancient history. The ancient people, I feel like, had such a grasp of what was really going on. You know what I mean? Like, I think that we are so far from reality right now that people look at tarot cards and spiritual experiences as taboo, as something that they can't relate to or that they feel isn't real. But it's so crazy that the majority of the population has had some type of mystical or mysterious or miraculous experience. So why this is still being labeled as taboo, or people don't believe it, and witchcraft and all this stuff, I'm just sitting up here like, are you guys for real right now? Like, no, this is natural, not supernatural. This is natural. Supernatural is just what science can't explain. That's why they call it supernatural, because they don't know what else to say about it. It's beyond the limits of what has been explored scientifically, basically. But this is not supernatural. This is actually natural. Divination is natural. Communing with spirit is natural. Speaking to God is natural. So I don't know where this is coming from, but all I know, I'm being called right now to say, with great power comes great responsibility. So perhaps this is the control mechanism that everybody can't use this type of power, I guess, in large of a society as we have. So I guess they have to try to, you know, narrow it down as much as possible. And I think that's a lot of the reason why I've been called to do what I need to do to help people understand what they're going through and how to properly use this to not cause harm to others. I think that's the whole thing, to not cause harm to others. If you can't help somebody, at least don't hurt them. God, at least don't hurt them. Okay. So, these are my last few things that I'm going to say, because I know this video is already long as heck. My goal with this channel is obviously to get messages out to people who need to hear them, people that are stuck in challenging positions in their life, who need help, who need answers, who need guidance. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, but I am here to help discern, you know, probably the highest outcome for you, or the underlying spiritual message or lesson that you might be learning in these different types of situations. Another goal of mine is to help develop my skills and to practice my skills so that I can hone in and be a better conduit when people do come seeking my help and advice and counsel. So that, I think that's probably my biggest goal, is just to practice and become the best me that I can be. Trust me, I'm not holier than thou. I cuss, I yell, I scream, I get pissed off just like everybody else. But every day I'm starting to pick up on those things that trigger me and how I can better react differently to situations. Not react, but respond appropriately. We all go through nature versus nurture, and we all have a past and a history, and parents and siblings and things that have happened to us in life, and all those things accumulate into the person that we have become to this day. So yes, there's a lot that needs to go with me and with a lot of people, but that's what I'm here to do, work on those things for myself. Self-development, work on developing myself to the highest possible person that I can be, to not trespass against others, and to give others the grace to grow as well. Definitely want to get information out to everybody about raising your vibration, raising the vibration of the planet. We are moving into a different vibration, and a lot of people can't go. A lot of people don't want to go. I'm not even going to say a lot of people can't go. A lot of people don't want to go. People are so used to things being how they were. I'm used to things being how they were. But we're going into a whole new evolution of things that are taking place right now. And I think part of my purpose is to help people prepare for that. So some of the topics that I want to broach here on this channel is manifestation, definitely. What that is, how to use it, from my understanding and from my perception, and what has worked for me, because that's the only thing I can speak from. Shadow work, raising vibrations, frequency, just personal growth, showing gratitude, giving people grace, finding understanding, just learning. That's basically the biggest goal of this whole thing, is to learn. So I hope you guys will join me on this journey. I really appreciate you guys. I am so grateful.